Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, y'all.
It is Memorial Day weekend, and we are doing some training this morning. And hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Does it look like we got people coming in yet?
Just keep on talking.
We're just going to kind of give it a minute or two for you guys to kind of come in. I know a lot of people are doing the weekend thing, this weekend being a long weekend, so we might not have many viewers, but I think there'll be a few people, hopefully. So we'll be doing a Q&A at the end. We're going to be doing actually several different demos.
Yeah, we got a full schedule here for today.
We got a lot of stuff going on. So things are good.
Excuse me if my voice is scratchy. It's been that way for a while. I take a little drink once in a while, drink of water. It kind of helps out a little bit. I haven't tried anything else.
That's not the cause. That's the solution. Then
that's a solution. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first things first, we want to thank everybody for taking some time on their Saturday morning. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, Vicki will try and scan through there. We're filming this. We're kind of going back and forth. We're also filming this with a big camera as well. Just in case we lose our signal and things go haywire sideways on us.
And that's the one that you'll post on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Hopefully the iPhone will be posted on YouTube immediately as soon as we're done. If that fails, then this will be the backup plan.
The big camera.
The big camera will be the backup plan. But we're hoping, like last month, that we'll have that this will post to YouTube right away. Otherwise, it takes like 48 hours to get that processed and actually post on YouTube. So, so if it goes bad, if the broadcast goes bad, it'll be on YouTube hopefully by the end of the weekend. The other thing that we want to mention, and this has been kind of an issue with filming with the iPhone, is the sound. So remember, we're filming with the iPhone, so our sound will be less than when Vicki talks because she's right there by the phone.
You got the microphone on?
Yeah, but that will only be if we show the big camera.
Right.
We have a mic coming for this.
We just ordered a microphone for the iPhone, so I think going forward, like next month or more videos that we do with the iPhone, I think that will, because it was about $150 for a microphone for the iPhone. So I think that
$150.
Yeah, well,
that's cheap.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, compared to what this microphone cost and what that cost.
Camera.
Yeah, pretty cheap. Anyway, hopefully it will work. So we'll be doing a lot more videos in the future. We'll be doing a lot more videos outside that we may be doing with the iPhone. So we got some interesting projects.
I'm trying to think up more videos to do too. More senior moment videos and stuff like that. So we're always brainstorming, trying to come up with something that'll make it more interesting for our viewers.
All right. So we got people coming in. All right. You want to give us where from, or can you even tell?
Yeah.
Is that Frank Jenkins you were talking to?
Frank Jenkins, Delano, California.
Delano, yeah.
Hello from Arnold Engel in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Virginia, North Carolina. We cannot turn up the volume. That's what we were just saying. We're getting a mic. We just don't have one right now. Frank Jenkins, Pennsylvania, Alabama, Texas.
Cool.
Minnesota.
That's Marty.
Yeah.
Do you want us to talk louder?
Well, yeah.
Idaho. So there.
We need to talk louder. Although I think
Finland.
So yes, because the microphone just off of. Have we got the volume all set up all the way on the phone itself?
Let me check.
Because I don't know. I don't think I.
Yeah, we'll try to make it work.
All right. So Dad's gonna do his little demo thing. Then I'm gonna do some demos. Then we're gonna.
To begin with, I want to we're going to have a giveaway again. This Sawdust Makes Me Happy nightlight.
For premium members.
What'd you say, Vic?
Premium member giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for premium members, but it's still going to be a giveaway drawing. But we'll do that more towards the end when we have the Q&A, the questions and answers. So we'll do that more towards the end. So I'll just set that aside for now. Make sure it's handy when I need it.
Oh, Canada.
Okay, you want me to go ahead and start?
Go ahead
Okay.
and do your thing, Dad.
To begin with, I'll start off with what I want you to know first. This is a little template. Can you see that, Vic?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, this is actually a replica of the necklace that Elvis Presley designed and had made by his jewelry guy, the guy that made all of his bling, made this up out of gold. Well, I decided that a lot of people asked me if I could make stuff like this. So I said, yeah, I can make stuff like this. So this TCB means taking care of business in a flash. That's what the lightning flash is. So it's taking care of business in a flash. Now I made this up as a layout template, and it's going to be in our template assortment. Probably when, Vicki? When will it be in there?
It'll be on by the end of the weekend.
By the end of the weekend, this will be one of the templates you can get. It's not a template of the month. It's just a template that's going to be available.
All right, so we're getting comments that it's blurry. So
Okay.
It's what?
it's blurry. So we're taking care of. We got it on other videos. So if this doesn't work out when it's on,
It may take a few minutes with YouTube Live. We found that sometimes it starts out blurry and then it kind of clears up after a while. So if it turns out that this ends up being blurry all the time, then we'll use the camera broadcast part of it. So
Okay.
just hang with us, guys.
Okay, next item. I got a call the other day from a guy who bought one of the router bases, and he said the screw, after he transferred it over from took the base off of the DWP 611, the DeWalt router, said he put the screws in it, and he said the screws stuck down or were down below the base, so they scratched on the wood. And this is when you put the base on. If you get one of these bases and you put it on, just get yourself a piece of wood and make sure that it goes all the way across. Now, this one I've got backed out a little bit, so you can see that it's kind of catching on that. So what I do, or what I recommend, I've never had that happen before, but if you get one of these bases and for some reason the company might change the type of screw they put in, I don't know. But I designed this so that these little screws would clear that countersink. But if it doesn't, you can back that screw out, and you can just do something like take this little belt sander. And what I recommend you doing is you just take about 10 or 15 thousand off of that. So you can see that, Rick? Let me turn this off.
I got it. Okay.
Now, if you can see the top of that screw head, you can see that I took about 10 or 15 thousandths off of that. Just put it right back in. Take I like a ruler. I like a wooden ruler. You take a wooden ruler and run across there and make sure that it's not in any way going to rub on your sign and make a mark. So that's just a cure for that particular problem. I've had one problem of all the dozens and dozens of bases that I've made. I'm always pretty careful that I countersink that. But if the company changes screws and puts a different screw in there other than the ones that I have no control over that. I do, however, know that you can just take a few thousandths off of that screw head if you have a router with the screws that don't quite seat in. Just take a little bit off the top of the screw. It doesn't affect it at all. Just makes it easier so that you don't have that that screw head scratching your signs. So I gotta have another drink of water.
Well, that makes sense. So that's an easy fix then. But if we we talked about this, if we counterboard those further, then it weakens that
Yeah,
base
if I
plate.
counterbore down anymore, it gets down below 100 thousandths, and it weakens the acrylic. So the chances of, if it drops, if you drop it on the floor or whatever, it has a higher probability of breakage. So I keep it at around 100, 110 thousandths, and I haven't had any breakage. I haven't had any customers tell me about breakage for long months. I mean, it's just, haven't had any problems. So that's just something I wanted to touch bases with you and show you how to take care of that problem if it comes up. Okay.
All right. Is that it?
I'm done.
Done with that? And then now you want to hang here while I do my part, or you
No, I'll
sit
go
over
ahead
there?
and I'll come back when we're ready to do the Q&A.
Okay.
I'll get out of here. I don't have any questions for you on your stuff, so
Okay.
I'll get out of here and let you do your thing.
All right. Well, there's a chair over yonder. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to do any carving. I'm going to do some sanding, but something that some of you are already using, some of you are already doing that are making signs, and I've been kind of slow to even try this process. And what I'm talking about basically is getting color on your signs and using acrylic paints. And you guys, some of you have been using these for a long time. And what I'm going to do...
Can you hold one of those little things up?
Oh, yeah. I'll hold the blue one up. So these are acrylic paints that I just got down at Joann Fabric. And they're water-based, which I really like. And I've been playing around with them a little bit. But what I want to do today, I want to do a little demo. Let me get this figured out.
Can you guys let me know, has the blurriness gone away? Has it gotten any clearer?
You know what I didn't get, babe? Would you hand me one of those paper plates over there? So what I've got here is I've got some inset letters and I've got some outset letters carved. What I want to do is show you how I go about painting these things.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Still blurry, still blurry. Okay, got it. I'm going to shut this down and come back into YouTube Live, and so stick with us, guys. We'll see if we can't reboot it and try it again. So everybody good with that? Say okay. 3, 2, going.
All
Nope,
right.
whoop, we're not gone yet, I don't think. Hold on.
So
All
we're
right, I
still
gotta figure
filming
out-
with the
okay,
big camera.
Okay, so okay, we're gone. 3, 2, 1, bye.
All right, so
Let's see, and stop.
so you want me to just continue on, or you want me to hold on?
No, I want you to hold on.
All right.
All right, done. So we're just gonna try to do it again.
I haven't used the blue yet. I'm going to try the blue. In the meantime. All right, so we are kind of stalling here for to get back on YouTube Live for those of you that are, in case you ever see this with the camera. I like to have 2 little cups of water. These acrylic paints are water-based, which is really handy.
Oh. All right.
You're going back on?
Yeah. Well, I was. It did the
Thumbnail thing?
thumbnail's gonna be
Gotcha.
interesting.
Yeah, because I
It's
was,
like
I
this
was.
like cat cock.
Well,
That's all right.
that's-
We'll go with it.
yeah.
We're
that's
going
me
live.
Anyway. All right.
You're live. All right.
All right.
Let's see if this doesn't help. I hope it does, but
So I'm just going to show you how I go
well,
about.
hold on. Let's. get some more people back on.
All right, so
it's going to take a second. So.
well, it's going to take me a second to paint this anyway.
Well, okay.
So I'm just gonna. So what I do is I just smear that stuff around in there. So I don't know.
Okay, they said it cleared up.
Oh.
So explain what.
Okay,
you do.
so I'm using acrylic paints, water-based. I just got these down at Joann Fabric, and they're and so the cool thing about these is you can just slop it around in there.
Let me move the camera. Okay, everybody's saying it's much better. Yay!
Good.
I'm very happy.
Good. Glad to hear that.
All
So
right,
these are made by Reeve Company, I
hold
think.
it down in front of your sign there, baby.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Well, up where we can see it, maybe.
What? This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just set it up against your board. There you go.
That work?
All right. Yeah.
So now there's all kinds of acrylic paints. This just happens to be the one that I got down at Joann Fabric, my local one here. So I just slop this stuff around in there, and this stuff dries actually pretty quick. And you know what? Another thing while I'm doing this that I needed to, I was talking to Dad about this earlier, and I've been thinking a lot about it. When you guys started watching us, a lot of you, you know that I never use anything but the ink and the primer as far as color in the background. That's what we traditionally have always used, is the ink and the primer. And there's several reasons for that. I'm going to use a different color now.
You missed a spot.
Huh?
You missed a spot.
I did? Oh, at the top there? It was on the other side. Dadgummit. All right, so it's
No, down there.
at the bottom.
Okay, you got it.
Got it?
Yeah, it's my job to point things out. You know?
Yeah. All right, so anyway, to go back to the point I was, before I was so rudely interrupted, the point I was trying to make is, remember guys, all the processes, if you go back and watch our videos back, in the early days and even up to the later videos, if you try and remember, all of our processes that we put together were based on carving and making signs on site, out there, at flea markets and fairs and craft shows and horse shows and all that. That's what we designed all of our processes for. That's why we use... No. That's why we use a belt sander, where a lot of you guys use other different types of sanders. That's why we use spray as far as our color goes, because there's really not time to do this kind of thing. What other color should I use? Let's use red
or yellow.
I don't like yellow. I got a yellow on my other one. I'll use red. This one's called Crimson. All right, so now I'll just do one outset and one inset. Anyway, the inset's a little bit easier to do. I probably didn't need quite that much. But you just slop it around in there, and actually it sands pretty well, and I'm going to show you here in a second once I get this all done. But anyway, to go back, all the processes that we put together over the years, in most cases, they're based on speed and having to get signs done while people wait. So this process would be very time consuming in that type of a scenario or environment. So many of our processes, almost all of them, were made for that kind of situation. So, if you're looking at brushing on finish or anything other than spray on and really quick, fast, and quick drying, then you're going to have you're just not going to be able to do it when you're out on site carving. And that's really what all of our processes in the past have been about, and they've all been designed that way, because that was our where we came from, is carving actually out there on site. But now, and this kind of goes into play with the last, 6 months or so. We're now doing some stuff with resins. We're doing some stuff that takes longer to do, but a lot of times I'm kind of slow to changing my processes. So anyway, now baby, you can grab these if you want. Thank you. So those, and actually these are pretty cool. I really like the fact you can see how fast they clean up with the water base. Now, are these exterior? To be honest, guys, I'm brand new at using these acrylics. I really don't know. I'm not sure if you put an exterior finish on top of them. I did spray spray one, and it came out fine. If you put an exterior finish on top of them, I'm not sure what the acrylics are going to do outside. You guys probably have a better idea about that than I do, but I just know if they're interior, they work pretty well. So now what I've done is I have done, now that piece that I just sprayed was cedar. That's my cedar fencing.
It's blurry again, for apparently. I
Okay.
think what happens when I zoom in and I zoom out, that's when it gets blurry.
Really?
So
That's
I'm
interesting.
not going to zoom in. I'm just going to
Okay.
leave it the way it is and hope it comes back.
Okay. So what I've done here is I've carved on, this is a
Okay.
select pine, and I've carved on both sides. One side has sanding sealer on it. The other side doesn't have sanding sealer on it. What I want to do, I painted this yesterday or the day before, and I'm going to sand this off and see what it looks like. See if we have bleeding from one side to the other.
Is that on?
Yeah, it says we've got a signal. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Where's my little block? Oh, there it is. So let's use that same sander that Dad was using. So I've got about a 120 or 130 grit. Actually, I'm going to use my rough grit first because we're talking about speed. So, as I mentioned before. All right, so
I could reboot it again.
there's the rough sand, and we'll go with the finish sand. Alright, let's blow it off, see what it looks like. Alright, so let's see. Huh? Yeah. Let's see what the difference is between using the sanding sealer and even if we need to. So that side has the sanding sealer on it. Now I do see a little bit, just a hair of bleeding right through here. I don't see any on the red or the yellow.
And this does have the sanding?
This does have the sanding sealer. See, the sanding sealer was on this side. But I do see a little bit of bleeding on there. Now let's look at the other side. So this side does not have the sanding sealer on it. But I still see, in the purple, I see even more bleeding. So, but the red and the yellow don't. So what did we learn from this? Don't use purple. I don't know. Anyway, but this definitely did not have the sanding sealer and the other side did. So, but the red and the yellow on the non-sanding sealer seemed to work just fine. Didn't seem to have any issues with that at all. Now, this is pine, and this is the one that, you know, pine is the one that tends to bleed. So we're going to see in a few minutes. The other thing that I painted was cedar. We're going to sand that off in a few minutes once it dries. What?
You need to check it?
Yeah, if you want to go check it. In the meantime, while that's still drying, what I do, a couple other things that I want to go over. Again, remember guys, this is a process that you would use when you're making signs in your shop, whether it's commercial signs or maybe you're out selling directly, but you're not making them right on site. Most of the processes that we have done in the past, we made them right there on site. Is that ready to go already? It's already dry. Well, that's a good thing. That's a positive. So now we're going to sand off that red and that blue that I did earlier. Rough sander. This is, by the way, a 40 or a 50 grit, I think. So, let's take a look at it, see what that looks like. Looks like they actually came out really nice. I don't see any bleeding. Of course, I didn't use the purple. I don't know if the purple would have bled on here or not. But it actually looks really clean. I like the way it looks. So, when you can use the cedar, and this obviously has no sanding sealer on it at all. Babe, you want to, no, I don't need to put a finish on it. So that was, so I am going to start using these acrylic paints a little bit more, I think. Oh, you took them over there. But, you know, and these are water-based, even though they didn't say water-based when I bought them. We were trying to look on there to see if they did, and they didn't. So I don't know. I guess there's acrylic oil base as well. I don't know. I haven't tried it. So anyway, guys, it gives you, if you are not making your signs out on site, it gives you a lot of versatility to get in there and paint that background. I know I've seen Cody Schroeder do this quite a bit. So it gives you a lot of versatility. Again, going back to any color that we've ever put down in the carving, it's always been a spray ink, and the ink is, can you hand me a can of the colored ink up there on the shelf, babe? It would probably be in the back, and it would have, do that black label with a, yeah, there we go. So this is the Marsh ink that we use, and this is the blue, obviously. So you're very limited into the colors that are available here. Now, if you're at carving on site and you want to do colors, this is definitely the way to do it down in the groove. If you're painting something that's outset, then we use the markers or whatever out on site. So I think that these acrylics really give you a lot of versatility to be able to get down in there and use, and they've got hundreds of different colors that you can use, and you can actually mix them and make whatever color you want. I'm traditionally, again, you guys, you know, I'm not much into painting, but this actually is pretty simple to do. It's a little time consuming, more so than spray, but actually I'm going to play around with them even more. I'm going to keep doing them. So that is that for that demo. Now, how are we doing on time? We're about right.
Yeah, no.
How's the broadcast is not working well at all?
I think it's okay. It's just.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm assuming that you guys will see this on film by the end of the weekend. So the next thing that I want to go over, the template of the month for premium members. So this was actually a suggestion that we got. Here is the template of the month for June for all premium members. This is a fairy tale castle. There's no brand name, by the way, attached to this. So if you have something in your mind about a theme park or something like that, this is not attached to that. This is just a fairy tale castle. I think it's from Scotland or something. Anyway, fairy tale castle. This is what it looks like when it's carved. Came out really neat. It was fun to carve. I used the SC50 because some of the lines are really, really tiny. So the dots and the little flagpoles and stuff. So I used the SC50 on my initial carve on this to get all that, the fine detail. And then I went back with the profile bit after that, I think. So that is that's the June template of the month. All right. So if you guys haven't, that'll be on the website by the end of the weekend as well. So if you guys want to order that and you're not a premium member, it'll be available.
$3.50.
Yeah, $3.50, just like all of our layout templates. All right, so next. Now we're going to get into something that, oh, by the way, before I forget, picked up one of these little DeWalt sanders. Love it. It's great. It doesn't sand as fast as the belt sanders that I'm used to. Again, speed is a thing when you're carving on site. But for my finish sanding, I'm probably going to use this pretty much all the time. I really like it. It's a cool little sander, but many of you guys already know that. Oh, yeah. All right, so the other day, we showed the big dome pattern in cutout patterns. You guys know, many of you know that we make cutout patterns. This is the Live to Ride cutout pattern, and we sell this on the website. And we just did a video, I don't know, a week or so ago about the big dome pattern, and then we had to adjust the price because of the shipping cost. Well, this is something that we've had a lot of requests for. We're adding something new to the website that will be on the website by the end of the weekend on a limited basis. Let me show you what I mean. And people were suggesting and asking, I just dropped them, didn't I? They were asking, can I just get a paper version of those cutout patterns? Well, now we found a process where we can do that. So, this is full size, same size as the cutout pattern. But if you guys want to make your own cutout patterns and you just want the size, you can now order these. We have 3 of them currently done. The Live to Ride, the large ribbon, which is 22 inches long, I think. And then, again, this is the same size as our regular cutout pattern. If you guys want to grab these, get these, and then put them on your board, then you'll have the shape. And then the dome pattern. Now these are $5 a piece, whether they're a little one or a big one. Just a flat $5. These are actually printed on vinyl, but you won't get them on vinyl. They're going to be done just on paper, which is what I've done for a few of you in the past. But these are much better. These are now computer generated. Vicky, my esteemed colleague, figured out how to actually do them on the computer. It just took a while for us to figure it out. But now, if you want that dome pattern and you just want the size of it, you can order it, print it on paper, and then use your scroll saw or jigsaw, whatever, and cut your own shape and make your own cutout pattern. Now we suggest if you do that, go ahead and get the HDPE. You don't need the MDF. You can get the HDPE, or you can make a temporary master pattern out of MDF and then make your HDPE off of that, like we've done in the past. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but now we have these available. Now, by the end of the weekend, these 3 will be on the website, $5 a piece. The rest of them will all be on there within. Oh yeah, well you always got a shipping cost. So if you're gonna order these, if you're gonna order a router bit or whatever, throw one of these in there because you're gonna get $7.50 shipping domestically.
We ship everything priority mail.
Yeah, everything goes priority mail. We don't put these in envelopes with a stamp on them. We just don't do that. Everything goes priority mail. So it's best if you order these, throw that in with something else that you're gonna order. But these 3 will be on the website by the end of the weekend, and then the rest of them within probably
Couple of weeks.
a week to 2 weeks. The rest of them will be on there. So hopefully soon. But we have to. There's a process that we have to go through to get these in the computer and then get them printed out, get pictures of them and all that. But these 3 will be on there by the end of the week. If you want other ones, just let us know and
Thank you, Todd.
we'll get to them. Todd?
He said good job.
Oh, thanks, Todd.
Well, he said good job, Vicky.
Oh, good job, Vicky. Well, of course. Yeah, not me. Never mind, Todd. I take that back. Anyway, so that is that. So I've gone over the template of the month, gone over the demo, gone over these. If you guys have questions, obviously, if you have questions, let Vicky know, let Dad know. Don't let Dad know. He won't know. Ask me or ask Vicky. Eric at makeawoodsign.com or vickywithdavessigns@gmail.com. All right, that's all we got. We got to do the drawing.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
where's my
waiting
dad?
for your dad?
Yeah. So, where you at, Dad? So, anyway, guys, if you have questions, let us know. So, I'm stalling because now my wife has left the room to go on and chase down my dad and find out where he is so we can do the drawing for the premium members. So, as you guys, to fill time here, I got a big collaboration coming up. You're going to see videos on that very soon. We also have a big project that's going to be starting Monday, we think. And this one is, you guys are going to be really, really happy with this one. Vicky's finally getting back on camera. So,
It's my project. Yeah.
so go ahead, Todd. Tell her good job. Anyway. So, it's time to do the drawing.
Oh,
Come on in.
all right.
Move all my
Todd
stuff
says
out of the way.
LOL.
Huh?
Todd says LOL.
Did he? All right. So how's the broadcast now?
Thank you, Marty.
Marty-
It's still blurry, but there are still
Marty
a
from
few of them
Minnesota.
hanging in. And,
Hey, this
Okay.
is going to be a drawing for
Hold
the
on.
premium members.
okay.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I got everything timed in here. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Carry on.
Carry on.
You're the director.
Oh, you put your hat away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do
you
you
got
cowboy
that.
hat?
I was
Here's how it
over,
works.
I was over in the other shop and I took my cowboy hat off and put my work hat on, and
Okay.
All right.
then I realized it was time to come back over here,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't have time to change my hat.
All right. So our Vanna White is over there messing with the tickets.
All right. Tickets? Explain
Okay,
again what you're doing.
All right, so what are you doing? Got to explain it.
Got to explain it again. Yeah, sorry because I interrupted you.
Are you going to explain it?
No, you are.
you're gonna explain
You're-
it. I
you're
said
picking the
I interrupted you, so I'm sorry, but
Oh, I was going to say for premium members, this is what we give away, what we have given away every month. I may come up with something else at some point in time, but for now, this is a nightlight, and it comes with a remote control and a cord so you can plug it into a USB, whatever. And it has different lights, but it's a nice nightlight that I made up. And we give this away every month to a premium member. So that's what this drawing is all about.
Yeah, you get to draw, so I'm going to mix them up.
Oh, you go ahead and mix them up.
I got to get in here somehow. I'm going to mix them up.
drum roll, please.
All right. Don't look. You got to
Okay,
be blindfolded.
here is the winner. It is, I got one ticket, and it's number 26.
26. So now Vicky is
Can
correlating
everybody
that.
can everybody see that number all right?
Yes, they can.
Huh.
I
Just talked
guarantee
to
it.
him the other day. Ready? 26. Daryl Kilpatrick.
Daryl
Kilpatrick.
Kilpatrick.
Kill.
Daryl. It's like the old Johnny Carson.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Like Kreskin.
Yeah.
Was it Kreskin?
Daryl Kilpatrick. So Daryl's the winner for this month. This is the one that
I'm your Ed McMahon.
When we get done laughing here, this is the one that I'll mail out to you.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to have to figure out some sort of a comedy routine.
Yeah, I'm your Ed McMahon.
So that's, you want this back in the bucket though? No, you
Oh,
don't.
no, that has to stay out for now.
That way I can remember.
I'll put it right
Yeah,
there.
that's fine.
All right, so now I'm assuming we lost a lot of people in the fact that we had to reboot a couple times. So if we have some Q&A, we're happy
We
to.
laugh a lot, Marty.
Yeah, yes we do. Flashbacks of old Johnny Carson.
I love Johnny Carson back in the day. I
Kreskin-
still watch his videos on
I
YouTube.
do too.
The Kreskin
In
stuff
fact,
was amazing.
I bought his set of videos, the best of Johnny Carson, on DVDs, and I watch them at least once a month. And I laugh just as hard now as when they came on 20 years ago.
Oh.
I think it's been longer than that now. I think it's more like 30 years ago, probably.
Well, at my age, 20 years seems like a long time.
Yeah. All right. So, any questions for us? Whether
Gotcha,
it's
that was the Legend of the Tonight Show. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if
Kreskin.
we. I know we did have a question on one of the other videos.
the failed.
Was somebody asked, why don't you use an air gun, a paint air gun?
You know, an airbrush. Actually,
Airbrush, that's it, I'm sorry.
The funny thing that you say that, I actually bought one and started playing with it, but I was highly unsuccessful with it.
There's a learning curve with the airbrush.
Oh man, it was crazy. It was
I
really
used one like 40 years ago, and it wasn't too bad, but the time it took to do what I wanted to do was more time than I wanted to spend. And like Eric has probably already said, back in those days we did things on site, so it had to be something really quick. Now I've gone to shows and watched guys with airbrushes, and it's just almost like magical. But my learning curve was so slow that I never could really become successful with it, so I didn't do it. And now, 40 years later, he's tried it, having about the same success that I had.
However, and what I found, the airbrush that I bought, it was actually a pretty good one. But what I found is that the cleanup was just a bear. But they actually, I saw a video not too long ago, they make an airbrush that actually is almost like the Critter sprayer that has a bottle that you can just change out bottles for colors and stuff. And I haven't got one of those yet, but I may be playing around more with the airbrush in the future, but so far I've been really disappointed with using an airbrush, but many of you probably are a lot better with it than I am.
Yeah, when I see somebody that's really good with an airbrush, it just makes me feel like, gee, that's nothing I could ever do. I'm just not that
Yeah, they do.
the talent. Those guys are just phenomenal. Watch the guy do an airbrush of Dolly Parton on the side of a bus, and it just absolutely was like a photograph. There's just no way I've got that kind of talent. So,
All right.
Back when I was a kid, they did a lot of airbrushes at flea markets and stuff, airbrushing T-shirts,
T-shirts,
hot
yeah.
rods, and
Absolutely.
and different things. They were really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Frank Jenkins said, and I'm trying to get to it, when you were sanding, he says, your sander makes noise. I thought it played music because you always fast forward through it.
That's funny.
And Marty says it is music for us woodworkers. Ruben is the one that talked about using the airbrush, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still playing
Tom
with it.
Watson says, I have found the Home Depot samples don't bleed, and they're about $2.99 each.
So Tom, and the Home Depot samples, as far as the acrylic paints, is that what you're talking about? So is that acrylic water based?
Oh,
That's interesting. And Tom does a lot of painting.
he does.
All of his signs are painted. That's interesting. I've heard somebody else say something about samples, Home Depot and Lowe's
House
samples.
paint water base, he says.
House paint water base. Wow. Interesting idea. Okay.
We'll give that a shot.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I gotta go.
Okay. Archie says, or Archer 821 says, when do you use sanding sealer?
I use sanding sealer on, number one, I only use it on pine, and I use it as soon as I get the pine back to my shop. So before I ever spray anything or color anything on pine, I use a sanding sealer first thing. In fact, before I even put it up on the rack where I keep my wood, I put sanding sealer. Either I brush it on or I use my critter sprayer, spray it, let it dry for a few minutes, and I put it up on the rack. So then I never have to wonder whether it's got sanding sealer
Would you do the same thing with poplar?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've only carved poplar a couple times, but I didn't find poplar to have those aspects of bleeding.
Right. Right.
So I'm not saying that it
So
doesn't.
you only do it with pine.
That's the only product or material that I use currently that I use sanding sealer on.
Frank Jenkins says, I'd buy a video of you guys in your outtakes. But we don't have outtakes.
They're all
Frank.
outtakes.
They're all, what you see is what you get. Rustic handmade timber signs. He says, or she says, I found that PVC glue and water makes a great sanding sealer.
PVC glue and water. That's interesting. Okay.
I don't even know what PVC glue is. I've got acrylic glue.
Yeah,
But
but
I don't-
PVC is completely different. So
Yeah.
that's got to be it's got to be water based, evidently.
Evidently.
Sounds like it's
All
water
right,
based.
Ruben.
But I've heard people say even like Elmer's glue and water as a sealer as well. Works pretty good.
Ruben
Or Tite Bond.
Garcia says, on average, how deep should your carving be on cedar fencing without having sanding issues or losing carved detail?
Ruben, it's so number one. My general rule is never more than a quarter of an inch deep. That's just kind of the general rule. But if you're using an SC50, you can't go.
I'm sorry, Rustic, the guy, PVC glue, he meant PVA glue.
Oh, PVA glue.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the heck that is. PVA. What is PVA?
Polyvinyl acetate. I really don't know what PVA is. So
I know what CA glue is, but anyway. So to go back, depth.
on the depth.
On the depth. So if I'm using a profile bit, my average depth is about 3/16, but it wouldn't be that deep if it's a really small image or really tiny letters. So inset, it has more to do with the width of the cut, depending on what cutter you're using. The profile bit cuts a wider line than the SC50. With the SC50, you have to be very, very careful. I only use that on super, super fine detail.
He gets real analytical. If somebody asks me, I say 3/16. Next question.
Okay, there you go.
Wow. Okay, so he said that PVA glue is normal wood glue in Australia.
So that's
it's just
like what I said.
Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue or
Yeah.
the Tite Bond.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
All
okay.
All
right.
right, Frank says, do you sandboard smooth before doing a transfer with laser jet copies? If so, to what grit?
Yes, I do sand them as smooth as I can get them. I'll use my belt sander. Typically, I'll use the belt sander because I didn't have the random orbital sander. But get them as smooth as you can, Frank. The smoother you get the board, I would go up to 120 grit or 220 grit if you've got to get it as smooth as you can. That's the mistakes I was making early on when my transfer. And that's whether you're using laser jet or inkjet. Just get your board smooth. You want it smooth before you put your transfer on. You're going to get a better image.
Marty says, make a playlist of bloopers. We don't have bloopers. We don't
Everything's
cut
a
anything
blooper.
out. Yeah.
I don't wear bloomers.
You should.
Sometimes.
Only figure how to spray a color primer. Okay, paint cover's good, but dry
The only
spray-
bloopers that we have would be cuss words that I've had to
that would be
beep
my
out
fault.
from this guy.
Or, yeah.
Or that one. You guys have heard them say four-letter words a lot more than me.
I don't use 4-letter.
I bet somebody on there can refute that. You do. And you've said it live on camera before too.
All right, whatever.
All right.
Well, I'm an old guy, and old guys can get away with shit like that.
All right. There we go.
All right, Archer says, Archer 821, I don't know if you answered this or not, I can't remember. I think I heard something about sanding sealer in the episode. When in the process do you use it, unless my memory is just off? I think
that one I answered. Yeah, I use it on pine. I use it at the very beginning. The whole idea of the sanding sealer, guys, is that when you're spraying, when you're putting a spray or a paint on your board, for me, if you don't have sanding sealer on pine only, that's what I use. Now, in other woods, maybe you need it as well, but I don't need it on cedar, I don't need it on redwood, but with the pine, I do. And I put it on before I ever do any layout on my board at all. At the very beginning, I put my sanding sealer on.
As soon as you bring the board home,
as soon as I get
put sanding sealer on.
As soon as I get back from Lowe's or wherever I buy my pine.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling here to see if I missed.
By the way, if you use redwood or cedar and you do have bleeding with those, it's probably because you're spraying way too heavy. Now, if you tend to have a heavy finger and you do spray way too heavy, maybe it's not a bad idea for you to put sanding sealer on that. I don't need to because I don't overspray typically. But if you tend to overspray, might be a good idea if you use sanding sealer.
He says he doesn't, but he used to.
Well, I used to. I wasn't talking about past tense. I'm saying now.
All right.
You always bring up the past tense.
Well, you had to learn.
All right, boys. Okay. Oh, sorry. I put my finger in front of the camera. Slang words for cuss words is what women sometimes use, like fudge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll just go right on past that one.
Frank Jenkins says something that I want to read. It says, let's remember our fallen veterans. They gave their lives so that we can
Absolutely
live the lives we do. Rest in peace, my brothers and sisters. Absolutely.
Yeah, our fallen veterans and our current veterans that are risking their lives so that we can do what we do. Just any member of the service, and even first responders, firemen and policemen, the same way. They're putting their life on the line every day to protect us in our way of life and what we believe in. So let's not forget them. You're right, Frank. It's it's something we should think of every day.
All right, Ruben says, you guys are great, and behind every great carver there is a great woman, in parentheses, is behind the camera directing them. Let's see, Dave Weber is here from Canada.
Who?
Dave Weber?
Dave Weber, okay.
That's a great name.
What, Weber?
Great, no. Dave, Weber's all right for fireplaces and barbecues, but Dave is the important thing.
All right,
Okay, that is it, guys. So we're going to review this on YouTube and see how it came out. But my hunch is I'll be processing.
Sorry. Marty says my son Hayden is home from the Navy. Oh,
I saw that, Marty. I saw
it. Home, yeah, for a week. He's in the Navy, so.
Thank him for us, Marty.
Steve what's a good rule for the border size around the carving?
Border size around the carving. If you're making outset letters, I generally keep it within, it all depends on how much room you have on your board. But I keep it within, say 3/4 of an inch to an inch, generally in a cloud. But if you're carving like a rectangle, I keep it wide enough that you can fit your 1/4 inch 90-degree bit in there. So, ½ inch or so.
Keep your copy, whatever the copy is, keep it tight. Your letters should be no more, under any conditions, no more than, say, the width of a pencil apart. Even closer is all right, but keep your copy tight. Reads better, the sign looks better.
Hand me that board down there, that one I just carved. So you can see these are a lot further apart than that, but it's because they're individual clouds. It was just a sample. But these are a little bit further apart than they really should be. but I did that because I was painting
So they
them
show
as
up. So they show up
individuals.
better, right?
But
These
that's
are-
the only
these are
reason I
sample.
did that. If this was a sign, that would be about half that distance. I would have closed the
Sure,
gap on
just,
those.
just look back here.
Yeah. See how close those are? See how close these are? That's a good example.
Keeping
right
your
there.
copy tight, and if you've got space at the outside of your copy on your board, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you've got some white space out there, it doesn't hurt a thing. But just don't try to spread your letters out to fill all your space, because it doesn't read right. The eye, the perception of the eye doesn't grasp that as well as it does if it's done right.
Looks more like individual letters than
Exactly.
being something that's one word.
You see people do that once in a while. You see that on commercial signs, and it just kind of grates on your nerves when you look at it.
Apparently
Well,
the
you're
video
nice.
just cleared up. Of course it did.
Well, again, if it turns out that these videos are going to work, I hope so. That'll be great. We'll post these. If not, we've got the camera version as a backup. So
Okay.
that is it, boys and girls. We're going to wrap it up. We got things to do. I'm sure you guys all have a busy weekend planned. Again, this weekend is all about our fallen heroes and remembering them. So hope you guys take a few minutes and do that. It's about remembering our fallen heroes. So that is it. So Monday we'll have a new video Monday, and it may be something really special. You don't want to miss it if it turns out like I think it will. And I got a big collaboration that I've already shipped off, and you'll be hearing about that within a week or so. Anyway, guys, that is it. I guess we're
Yeah, have a great Memorial Day, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you
Stay
next time.
safe.
yes. Stay safe out there.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.